Janibek Alimkhanuly might be the guy to beat Canelo. And that's not to say Canelo's never been beaten before. We know Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol. But to be one of the guys that actually is around Mayweather, to be one of the guys that's actually around Canelo's weight class, I think Janibek Alimkhanuly can do it. I was watching his Ngamissengue fight this weekend, and one thing struck out to me. Janibek Alimkhanuly is constantly improving. He's constantly getting better at, he's trying new things. And that really stuck out to me because he was fighting a lot in the pocket. We know Janibek Alimkhanuly from being this fighter that's kind of, out on the fringes, fighting and landing his power left hand. Keep in mind, he's a southpaw, and that's going to come into play for what we're talking about in a minute here, right? But watching him fight in the pocket against Ngamissengue, he wasn't perfect there. And that's kind of what I liked. He's willing to try new things. He's willing to see if he can get better. And I think that Ngamissengue fight for Janibek Alimkhanuly is going to make him better. So he's the two-weight champion at 160. Kazakhstan, from Kazakhstan, Triple G, 17-0, 12 knockouts. Lives in Oxnard, California, but this fight was one of the ones that, kind of really put him on the map. And now BoxRec has him ranked number 1, and for good reason. You got Idris Landy, Lara, you got Eubank, Dames. You've got these guys that are in that division, but it's not like they're not quite what Janibek is. None of them want to fight Janibek Alimkhanuly. None of them. But watching that fight this weekend, talking about Janibek, watching that fight really it was weird to me. It was different. Him trying new things and taking on Canelo, I think he can beat him. I think Janibek Alimkhanuly beats Canelo. And here's why, okay? Now, I'm not sitting here telling you guys, trying to pull the wool over your eyes, saying, oh, Janibek Alimkhanuly, this dude is a better boxer than Canelo ever was. I don't think that's the case. But Canelo's getting old, and he's showing it in his recent fights. It's not really, getting the finishes that he usually does. He's more of a decision fighter now. And that's okay, But what really stuck out to me about Janibek Alimkhanuly is not the Ngamissengue fight or the whatever other fight you've watched him fight. If you haven't seen him, he's not a well-known boxer, but guys, the dude's incredible. Mikhailovich, Stephen Butler, Denzel Bentley, he's got some good wins. But what stuck out to me is just his nature. He's a southpaw with heavy hands. And Janibek Alimkhanuly, he can take a punch. It's a recipe for disaster for Canelo. Think about the Triple G fights. Triple G was exactly that. He was exactly I don't think Triple G was a southpaw, but he could take a punch, okay? I'm going to rewind that a little bit, right? Let's rewind that a little bit, boys. I kind of got ahead of myself there. Y'all know how excited I get. But the fact that he can take the punch and he has the power to really, he's not going to hurt Canelo. You don't hurt Canelo, first of all. But if he has the power to slow Canelo down, think Sergey Kovalev and Dimitri Bivol, right? If he has that power, he can really go in there and cause some ruckus for Canelo. Like, okay, we're going to be in the pocket. You see him fighting in the pocket. You see him fighting in the pocket like, okay, if Canelo wants to fight in the pocket, I'm not going to be scared to fight there. And we saw that against Ngamissengue. Nothing but pocket fighting this whole time. And he's coming out over the top, landing some heavy blows. Eventually put Ngamissengue out, right? Like, we knew he was going to beat Ngamissengue. What was that, a 5th round knockout? Yeah, 5th round TKO. But when I think about the Canelo fight for Janibek, it's the perfect storm, kind of, right? You've got a legend that's aging on his way out. Think of like Julio Cesar Chavez taking on a Oscar De La Hoya, or think Roberto Duran fighting Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, and Tommy Hearns. Like Roberto Duran had an entire career Hall of Fame career before he fought the Big Four, right? Roberto Duran was the best boxer out of all of them coming into that 9-fight series, the Big Four. But he was older. Julio Cesar Chavez was older when he took on Oscar De La Hoya. You see these aging fighters, and the game is getting better. Like, I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but these boxers, they're getting good young. The training's getting a lot better. And I think with Janibek, especially these Central Asian, Eastern European guys, think Lomachenko and Usyk, they got like 20 fights apiece, you know? Janibek's kind of the same blood. He's got like 17 fights. I don't know what his amateur career is. Let me look it up real quick. 49, 8-9. So he's a really good amount of fights. Not 400 like Lomachenko, but still. So I'm watching Janibek, and I'm thinking to myself, like, how would he fare against Canelo? Yeah, he's talking about wanting the David Benavidez fight. I get it. You know, Benavidez is the next star at 168, even though he just got promoted to champion at 174 because Dimitri Bivol was like, I'm fighting Beterbiev next, right? But I'm looking at him against Canelo, an aging Canelo. Like, go look at Canelo's last fights. Berlanga, Jaime Munguia, you got Charlo, you got John Ryder, the southpaw, gave him a lot of trouble. You know, Gennady Golovkin, the ghost of Gennady Golovkin, the Orthodox Kazakh guy, the Gennady Golovkin, gave him problems. And we know Canelo has problems with southpaws. We know it. He's fighting, William Skull next, and then he's talking about Terrence Crawford. Skull's not really a challenge. Crawford is. I give Janibek a much better chance at beating Canelo Alvarez than I do Terrence Crawford. And that's crazy sounding, but Crawford is a really small guy compared to Canelo Alvarez, right? Canelo Alvarez was drained at 153 or 152 is thinking what him and Floyd Mayweather fought at, right? Fights at 168, 174 even. Flirted with a fight at cruiserweight. Y'all remember that? But when I look at him versus a Janibek, and they say styles make fights, I don't think Janibek Alimkhanuly is a fighter on the same level as Terrence Crawford at all. But styles make fights, and when I look at the styles of this fight, I just can't help but say, he's a southpaw. He has heavy hands. He can take a shot. That's pretty much Canelo's worst nightmare. And he's slick. I don't know, guys. Do you think Janibek can beat Canelo Alvarez? I mean, if I had to put it out of 10, I'm not going to say 8 times out of 10, maybe 6 times out of 10 or 4 times out of 10. That's still really good odds, 40% chance. Janibek Alimkhanuly is the actual boogeyman. Everybody is scared to fight him, and I understand why. Adames don't want him. Lara don't want him. Canelo, he might want him eventually. That would be a good one to add to his resume if he can. But, guys, if you haven't watched Janibek Alimkhanuly, he's on Top Rank. I know you've got ESPN Plus. Watch him. Go back and watch his old fights. The dude's incredible. A lanky, long southpaw that my coworker Josh today we were talking about. He's like, wait, he's 160? He looks massive. Shout out, Josh. What's up? But yeah, he's massive, guys. He's somebody you should start really, keeping the eyes on. He's a good fighter. This playlist right here, this one here, boxing. We talk boxing every week. We're gonna be talking about boxing. Come on, subscribe to this. Subscribe to the channel. Janibek, we're talking about. We got all the other boxing cards. Canelo Skull, we're gonna be talking about. Terrence Crawford, Canelo, if that happens. Beterbiev, Bivol, all of it. We talk about everything. So come on, guys, come hang out. Follow the playlist.